I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
From hotel layoffs to whispers of a tourist slowdown, lately Las Vegas has been getting a lot of attention on social media, so we decided to separate the facts from the feed. It started with a scroll.
Vegas tourism is dying.
A place like Las Vegas is going to be the first to fall.
Videos of an empty Las Vegas Strip.
We know that travel and tourism is down.
Online comments about how expensive it's become.
They nickel and dime you on everything.
And now chatter about hospitality jobs being cut. While the videos may feel dramatic, here's what we do know. Las Vegas welcomed 3.39 million visitors in March, but that's down nearly 8% from last year. Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority says a lighter event calendar and economic uncertainty may be playing a role, but visitors still love us.
I think it's still pretty busy for, I guess you could say, the slow time.
I've spent money like a maniac.
At the same time, convention traffic is actually up. More than 500,000 people came for trade shows in March, showing business tourism is holding strong.
I don't see a downfall at all.
Still, it's hotel numbers that tell a mixed story. Occupancy is down slightly, especially midweek. Room rates are up, but revenue per room has remained flat.
What we're looking at right now, we think, is just a downturn in business for a period of time.
You know, I'm gonna just go ahead and admit it. I have a bias. I have a beef with Vegas. Vegas was a sanctuary temporarily for people like myself, that were based in Los Angeles when the lockdown started. If you were based in LA, San Francisco, if you were in California when the lockdown first began in March of 2020, throughout that summer, you needed a getaway. It was music to our ears when we found out the casinos were still open. See, I had seen on the news they had shut down all the lights, but apparently all the clubs and hookah bars and restaurants were closed, but the casinos were open where you can gamble, and there were restaurants in the casino open during the lockdown. So businesses had to close, restaurants, stores, lounges, anything like that, clubs, dead. But the hotel pool was open. You could gamble. You could walk around. They have like their restaurants in the hotel. So it was open. It was just pretty much empty. That was it. I was pretty much spending every day, and then I pretty much moved into the Cosmo. I lived there for about a month and a half. Then I got bored because I kept taking an Uber to the Venetian to go to the Grand Lux Cafe. Because, I brought I would invite girls I know out because everything was dead. Everybody was bored to death in 2020. So I'm like, look, come to Vegas. I knew people that were throwing 5,000 people events inside of suites at the Caesar's Palace. And I got the videos and everything to prove it. And I remember telling everybody, either people that look like me are immune or there's nothing. There is no virus. There was one. There is not one, or people like me are immune because there's thousands of people sweating in this hotel room suite, but no one's dying. So one day I'm at the Cosmo and I'm like, let me go downstairs and gamble. And then we're gonna go to the pool. I had flew in these two models that I knew from Arizona. They came out to come visit. We were turning up. I get down to the casino floor. I go to the crap table like I always do. Do you know these fucking idiots asked? They told me. They didn't ask. They told me. I have to now, after I've been there for 2 months, out of the blue, you now have to wear a mask to throw the dice. You want me to wear a mask in a casino just so that I can lose money that I'm giving to you? You want me to cover my face, basically breathe in my own exhaust, drink my own urine, in other words, just so I can gamble? Vegas has been dead to me ever since. I went to the Venetian. They had the similar policy. I finally made it to Fremont Street in the hood, and that's where they were like, okay, you're not going to have to wear a mask. You can gamble like normal. But when I was in the main strip at those casinos, actually the Wynn did let me gamble without a mask. So I ended up, taking my money and started staying at the Wynn for a while. And they started doing more, little small enforcements here and there. I remember the governor was Sisolak at the time. That's how pissed off I was because I left one fucked up governor in California, Newsom, and evacuated to Vegas just for Sisolak to do the same. And then when I got fed up with Vegas, I came to Arizona, and it was Governor Ducey at the time. And do you know what Ducey ended up doing after I finally make it to Arizona 8 months later? He decides to close Arizona. I'm talking about, I moved probably to 6 different states looking for freedom during this whole lockdown time. And that's when I finally landed in Texas. But before that, when I was in Vegas, I swore I would never spend any of my money in a Democrat piece of shit like Vegas. So let's go over what makes Vegas a piece of shit where Democrats love. Well, for one thing, the whole lockdown situation with the mask, that was a problem. Nobody wanted to go to Vegas. And then when they started doing enforcement on the people that were loyal, like myself, that were coming there, we swore we would never go back there. We would go somewhere else. Vegas showed us that there are other options. Vegas introduced us to Mexico. And Vegas is the reason that Colombia is now such a booming hit. We were looking for alternatives. In the Dominican Republic, there was a curfew of 12, not 12 midnight, 12 noon. So then we stopped going to the DR. Costa Rica, Puerto Rico, they were having increases in crime. All of a sudden, we discovered Colombia, Cartagena, not necessarily Medellin, not Bogota, Cartagena. They have casinos there. They had a slight curfew, but it wasn't that bad. And everything was open. You know, you go to Vegas right now, you can't even have fun. You know, let's just go ahead and be frank. What do people go to Vegas for? Women. Basically, the hangover movie experience. You want to get high, you want to get drunk, you want to wake up with a strange woman in your bed. You may or may not want to get punched by Mike Tyson. There are different things that Vegas used to have to offer that it no longer offers. You can't get any drugs. For one thing, you're on the West Coast, so you got to worry about fentanyl. For two, it's a zero tolerance state. So now they're looking for anyone and they're locking you up for anything. That cuts, the enforcement alone makes Vegas undesirable because you can't even just relax and go there for to have fun. Vegas used to be like a cutout in the United States where it was kind of like no laws, no holds bars, anything goes, and it was a getaway. But now it's literally no different than Phoenix. Actually, Phoenix, if you're going to Scottsdale, is a better option than going to Vegas. There's casinos in Scottsdale. You could do sports betting in Scottsdale. There are the rates on the hotel are better. There's going to be less traffic, obviously. And you're going to just get more bang for your buck when it comes to the women. People go to Vegas for women. When you increase, not to say that prostitution should be legal, that's not what I'm saying. But if you're a guy and you're in a club and you want to meet some hot chicks and they want to go back with you, and they're doing sting operations where now you're in a club talking to 2 girls, they offer to come back to your room to hang out, and then you get arrested for soliciting, that's going to turn off people who are going to Vegas to literally meet women and do things and cheat on their wives, whatever. Because let's be honest, that's the allure. That's the fun part, a wild weekend in Vegas. They didn't stop wild weekends. We just now do wild weekends in Hong Kong, Tijuana, Cartagena, Medellin, and we're not coming back. I'm in Arizona right now. I flew back here for business last week. I got back from Colombia last Wednesday. I've been invited out 10 times. I don't see myself spending any of my money to go to clubs here, to buy bottles here, to take a woman on a date here. For what? For what? It's all the same. Everything is overpriced. Everything's a ripoff. No one's grateful. You don't get that king treatment. I remember back, Vegas used to go there, and even if you weren't a professional athlete, they treated you like one. You were respected. They wanted your business. They appreciated your business. But now you're pretty much getting run-of-the-mill treatment when you go to Las Vegas. The other big problem with Vegas is the crime. I'm from California. Everybody from every ghetto, trashy, shitty shithole in California, in Mississippi, for some reason, the most gutter people from the most gutter parts of every state during the lockdown decided to move to Las Vegas. Las Vegas is essentially the hood. If you step outside of a casino, you're in the hood. Let me not remind you what just happened not too long ago with Sin City Manny and Vinny. This is right in front of the Bellagio, right in front of the water fountains, people and children walking around. Right across from Hotel Paris, people are being gunned down. You know, and it's crazy. The guy who's doing the shooting, his name was Sin City Manny. He was able to make it away from the scene. So that means that there's police everywhere except where they need to be. The crime couldn't be stopped. If you think about it, that potentially, what if that was a terrorist? What if that was one of these people they let in over the border during Biden administration? One of these people from Pakistan that said, "You will know my name." One of these disgruntled Ukrainians or Afghanis that were cutting off their funding. And they just decided to just open. There's nobody there to stop them. And then it's Nevada. So you think there's going to be a good guy with a gun that's going to show up? You're wrong. So you have to worry about the crime. You can't go to a store around Vegas. You go 5 feet from a casino, it is the projects all the way around. All the way around. So you want to go there and be high end. I'm supposed to wear a suit and get dressed up and bring my money and want to come to Vegas and just be around a bunch of ghetto trash that's literally shooting and you know how much crime and murder and robberies have went up in the Vegas area? But I'm supposed to want to go there and have a good time. How can I? I have to watch my back the whole time. I can't even get drunk. You don't know who you're going to step on someone's shoes and they're going to want to shoot you. And there's no police around until it's time for you to, until you're an NBA player and you don't pay your marker and they send people to arrest you. That's also another big problem. There's an NBA player went into debt with one of the casinos, and they literally sent like marshals or they pressed charges against him, and he was arrested and extradited back to Nevada. Now, I don't know what the agreement was where they can arrest you over debt. It doesn't fucking matter to me. The fact that that's even something that can happen, I don't want to go there. Everything about Vegas has been a trap since 2020. Every time I know people that go there, they end up getting in trouble, they get arrested, they get robbed. Oh, but it's dangerous in these other countries, Rico. They'll drug you and rob you. My good friend was just at a club in the MGM, met some girls that came back to his room. They started telling him, oh yeah, give us some outrageous amount of money. He's like thinking they're joking. They end up drinking. He dozes off for a second. He wakes up, laptop gone, phone gone, any cash he had in the room gone, his watch gone, and the girl's gone. He wakes up, he runs down the hallway of the casino, runs down the hallway of the hotel, takes the elevator down to the casino floor. He's looking around trying to find the girls. They're gone. But they're clever because they're American and they've learned that you can extort men by just making up a story about them. So he's like, okay, so he's going to go to report these women. He goes back up to the room. While he's walking back into his hotel room, security and Las Vegas PD are already there. Apparently, somebody had called the police and said that there were 2 women being held hostage in his room. The police have literally already entered his room about this allegation. He comes back, finds them in there. He's telling them their side of the story. They're telling them what was called and reported in. He just wanted it to be over with at that point, so he didn't pursue them or press charges. What they did was they accused him of something so that if he accused them of something, he'll just want it to go away and it'll just break even. So they basically just got away with robbing my friend. He says he felt like he was drugged, but he could have, liquor is a drug. You pretty much drug yourself, and you shouldn't be letting women that you don't know or women you do know. Don't let anybody pour a fucking drink for you. Be a man and pour your own drink. Make them pour their own drinks. You don't pour drinks for people. What's wrong with you? I had to have that talk with him because I felt like he just doesn't know any better. But yeah, there's nothing necessarily even appealing about Las Vegas anymore at all. It's just too dangerous. And now they've raised the prices on everything because they're trying to make up for the money they lost during lockdown. That money's gone. The business is gone. I've been back. I haven't heard one person say, hey, let's just go to Vegas for the weekend. Let's go have fun. What's fun about Vegas now? There's no women that you can really safely procure, however you want to call it. You can't go out there and get high. Can't really safely buy any party favors or anything. And everything is overpriced. And now they're saying, we're going to do you a favor. We're going to remove those resort fees. Why the fuck were there resort fees in the first place? And to top it all off, they're charging for fucking parking all of a sudden. I bullshit you not. They want you to pay for parking per day. Another added expense. Who do they think is trying to go there to give them this much money when it just doesn't make sense anymore? For men, especially for young men, we tend to do a lot of dumb things with our money. But at least it makes sense because we had a good time. Yeah, these are overpriced clothing, or this restaurant was expensive, but we got the girl we wanted at the end of the night, so it kind of broke even. We don't even have that anymore. There's nothing that we're really getting from this, and when we're doing the exchange, it's not a balance. Now, on the other hand, if you fly to another country or if you drive down to Mexico, well, you're having the time of your life. You're having that hangover experience. You are having a blast. Mike Tyson might punch you if you see him. You really are going to have a good time. I've been hearing a lot about people going to Hong Kong and Tijuana. And when I tell you the reviews are never mixed, people are literally saying they're having the time of their life and they wish they could live there, but Tijuana's too dangerous. Look how close it is to San Diego. San Diego's dangerous. But when you fly down to a city like Cartagena or even in Medellin, the crime is not like the crime in the United States. The violence isn't there. People talk about, oh, you're getting drugged and robbed. Bro, they do that in Atlanta. There's men that are getting their noodles knocked out by sex workers every day all over the country, and then the women are getting arrested, but they're women. They're going to get a slap on the wrist anyway. So, again, there's really not too many reasons to go to Vegas anymore. And you got to think about it. What are the price? If you go to Vegas during not even a holiday weekend, a regular weekend, you're going to spend about $700-800 on the low end per day. Room, food, liquor. They're charging $20-25 per drink. I go down to Colombia. I go to Mexico. Drinks are $6 American. I can rent an Airbnb penthouse. Matter of fact, I rented an Airbnb penthouse.
Name up. Man, Roche about to put us on with the jet ski plugged up.
Jet skis, penthouse, beaches, beautiful women. It looks like you're in Miami, except it's 1/5 of the price. There's casinos you can go to. There's clubs that are open all night long. Everyone treats you like a celebrity. This is the kind of feeling we used to get when we would go to Las Vegas. Vegas can no longer provide that. Vegas is now just another state. There's nothing special about it. An economy is going to have to learn to live without the casino attracting people for business. It's not, and the gig economy is going to suffer there, and the tourism industry is done. Now, if you're going to force people to go there for a convention, And depending on your profession, you're going to go there. There's nurses and doctors, different people that go there. I don't even know if they're doing the magic show anymore, but that's where you would go. But there's no need to go there anymore because you can go places like Colombia. This is where I was staying at in Marbella, right outside of Boca Grande, right? This is the airport in Cartagena. This is the building that I actually live in, but me and my cousin had an Airbnb in the building I'm in right now. So again, when you think about what you're going to be spending your money on, when you go down to Colombia and the little bit of money you spend for the kind of time you have, it's the same feeling you used to get if you went to Vegas in the early 2000s, back when things were still kind of free, before all the enforcement, before they shut everything down, and definitely before the lockdown. And I just feel that after the lockdown, they're so desperate to try to gain their money back or get back to where they're cooked. Also, the enforcement on people who want to rent Airbnbs. You can't just go out there and rent a house and a bunch of friends. They're now shutting all that down. They force you to go to the casinos. People can feel that, and people are tired of it. They don't want to do it. And then we now know about places like this. $1,500 for the weekend in Vegas, or $1,500 for an entire week, including partying, liquor, your room and board, and plane ticket. Get the fuck out of here. There's no way Vegas can compete. Vegas is done. It's done for me. And people like me, we're done. We don't see ourselves spending $5,000, $10,000 to go there for what? To meet who? What are we gonna do? Trash? What, go to see what the Blue Man Group? What, the Cirque du Soleil? You want to see somebody do a fucking cartwheel off of a blue tennis ball? I don't know what the fuck there's no appeal anymore. Fun part of Vegas was the women, the sex, and the party favors, and those things are a thing of the past now. So we've moved on. Vegas is going to have to move on. I don't know what they're going to do with the casinos. But shit, after the whole mask situation, I don't give a fuck anymore. They played into all that Democrat bullshit. I'm done with Vegas. It's over. So if you agree, leave a comment. If you disagree, leave a comment. But this is just my synopsis. People keep sending me these videos on Vegas, asking me why I'm not there anymore. So I wanted to make a video to kind of go over the pros and the cons and how Vegas cannot compete with places like Colombia. It's a short flight to get there. You get more bang for your buck, and it's safer. There's no black culture in Colombia. There's no group of black people that are going to rob you. You're not going to get beat up and robbed. The odds of somebody walking up like they did Sin City Manny, even though this was a personal issue where, somebody walked up and laid down the man and his wife in public in Vegas, the odds of that happening are like 0. So because of that, Vegas just doesn't make sense for me anymore. Famous last words. This man's looking at the Hotel Paris. The guy's arguing with his wife, and he doesn't just do the guy. He does the guy's wife right here too. Bubbles or bubbly. It's crazy. But because after seeing that, I don't want to go back to Las Vegas. I just don't. If you do want to go at your own risk, and you're not going to have fun. You're probably going there to pay the quarter machines because you're 90 years old. Probably going to play the nickel machines. But are you going there to meet women, have fun, party, and have a crazy wild weekend? No, you're not. You can't have a crazy wild weekend in Vegas no more. Matter of fact, today is all my friends for the holiday weekend, just this past Labor Day, we were all, instead of going to Vegas, everybody's like, oh, we're going to go to Mexico this year. We're going to rock. We're going to go. No one's even considering going to Vegas. When Vegas used to be our first choice. Back when they had Toxic and they used to have all these different pool parties and it. But to be honest, people were getting shot at that shit too. It was ghetto. Nobody wants to see ghetto no more. No, there's nothing good about the ghetto. Nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to be around ghetto people. I don't want to see ghetto culture. And because of that, Las Vegas is a wrap. If you look at it, people are doing better. The casinos like Red Rock that are like an hour away from the Strip are doing better because ghetto people don't go that far away from the ghetto. See, ghetto stays around the ghetto. Now they've built all these projects on Flamingo around the Strip. So now Vegas is the ghetto. Vegas is the projects. So you got to go out to Red Rock and these other casinos an hour away. And that's when it's clean and it's fun and it's civilized society. But you're not going to have that in the interior where a bunch of ghetto autistic people committing crimes, getting arrested in front of everybody. It's a turn off. It's not fun. Don't want to deal with it. So if you agree, leave a comment, subscribe, share the video. But that's just my take. Vegas is done for the foreseeable future. If Vegas ever found a way to cut all their prices and profits in half and take themselves back to, I don't know, 2004, but that's impossible to do with inflation. The buildings would all have to go bankrupt. They'd have to get reacquired at a lower rate, and then somebody would have to come in, a new owner, and offer. And the odds of that happening are pretty much zero. So I'm not sure how there's going to be a recovery because there's no need to go to Vegas. I'm actually sports betting right now on my phone in Arizona. I'm literally on FanDuel right now. Just had a parlay hit this morning. And this is what I used to have to drive to Vegas for and put bets on teams, live games, and bet on sport. I can do that shit in my pocket right now. I don't need to go to no fucking Las Vegas. For what? It doesn't even make sense anymore. So, and look at that. This is only, what is this? The second inning. And 2 out of 5 on my parlay have already hit. So 3 other people, if they just hit the ball once, I win. So, yeah, fuck Vegas. And I know there's people that are going to be like, you can't say fuck Vegas, Rico. It's insensitive. What about the employees? What about the workers? You know, I don't feel shit because these people, when they started making the customers put on masks, the employees and the workers should have protested. They should have, you know, raised their concerns and said, hey, we don't need to do that. We should reopen. We should protest. But no, they're communists too. They believe they liked getting that little stimulus check, even though they had a job. They liked being able to just say, oh, I'm scared of getting sick, so let me stay home. You know, fuck these people. There were a lot of people that did work through it and worked during that time period, but they didn't fight back. I fought back. I made videos. I told people don't go to Vegas. I told people let's go here. Let's spend our money there. As a matter of fact, let's go to Texas. Fuck the West Coast. Any place that's doing lockdown, don't go. Your only 2 options right now, this is back in 2020, 2021, 2022. Your only options are Houston, Dallas, Miami. Don't spend money anywhere else. I was a part of that movement. I stressed it. And that's why now that that's kind of behind us, I don't want people to forget what we went through back then. Vegas helped put us through it. Vegas was one of the first people to go into the scamdemic bullshit by turning off all the lights on the strip to get that effect and scare people. Man, fuck Vegas. I'll never forgive them for what they did to the psyche of the people that lived there and had to watch all the casinos go dark like it was the end of the world. To hell with Vegas. I don't feel no sympathy. If you are working down there, find somewhere else to work. Go to another state. Go work in a hotel. Maybe in a place that still gets tourism. Go to Orlando. Go to one of these interior of the country cities where they have like national parks or something. There's other places to go, but you're going to have to move and find greener pastures. You know, that's what humans do. If it was 500 years ago and we lived on a lake and the lake dried up, we didn't just get on our phones and complain about how the lake is so dry. No, we would migrate to greener pastures. And you're going to have to do that because, you know, either going to sit there and waste away with Vegas or you're going to go somewhere else. And I think it's going to be time to go somewhere else and try something new. But that's just my opinion. You can follow it or not. Thank you, Club Rico, the single boyfriend. I'll be back on shortly.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.